Now, Ami, have you actually entered CHAZ?
I entered, I brought my passport, and went through the border, got into CHAZ, did my thing, took off. So yes, I entered the Republic of CHAZ, now known as CHOP. I think they realized the name CHAZ was so stupid and sounded like a this is sweet jazz coming at you. And they changed it to CHOP. It sounds rougher and tougher.
CHOP?
Yes.
It's now called CHOP?
CHOP.
Is that the
yes.
fastest change of a country's name in history?
Yeah, I think it took a long time
Yeah,
for
I mean,
Rhodesia
to go to
name,
Burma
so, yeah.
to Myanmar, like it took centuries. This is remarkable. So you went to CHAZ/CHOP. Is it now, in all seriousness, can anybody enter?
Yeah. So anybody can walk in. There's this notion of doing ID checks that doesn't really exist. Look, the truth is that the veneer of this place, and we'll call it CHAZ because it's a funnier name, sounds funnier on the radio. But the veneer of this place is, in fact, one of like a carnival party atmosphere, right? There's free food and there's kids and there's people walking around and having a good time and blowing bubbles. When you walk in, it does seem like a street fair. To be honest, that is what it looks like. But like anything on the left, if you begin to just scratch the veneer a little bit, the ugliness starts to come out, which is obviously what I do for a living. That's how I make that's how I make my bones. And that's what I did, scratch the veneer. And you then saw the ugliness starting to come out.
Go ahead.
So I'll give you a couple examples. So first of all, just in terms of again, people say that it's a violent place. It really wasn't violent, although obviously a lot of violence had emanated from there from before. But we were there, and within, I would say, about 10 minutes, two people came up to me armed with rifles and kind of fully kitted out in like military gear, came up to us and said, "Hey, it sounds like you're causing trouble here." And I said, No, we're not causing trouble. We're just asking some basic questions. And I said, "We're not leaving here." They got flustered, thinking that we'd walk away when two very armed people came up to us, and they let us continue. So that was our first idea that this was not quite what it seems on the surface. And look, at the end of the day, when you start asking people the right questions, the radicalism of what they stand for begin to come out. And that was very, very clear. And we actually were lucky enough to, because we were harassed by one of the leaders, one of the founders of this new republic, this woman named Jadie, and we ended up talking to her for about 30 minutes. And again, the radicalism of what these guys stand for began to come out. I mean, I don't know if anybody read kind of what they're looking for, but they're talking about, okay, obviously we're talking about the abolition of police. And by the way, it breaks your heart to look at a police station there to protect this neighborhood that is defaced and vandalized. And the police had to leave because the mayor has no backbone. And she forced the police to leave this area, to leave the people who live in this area, who, by the way, are living kind of in fear. If not, at best annoyance, if not fear, because there was a bunch of damage done in this area. And to see this police station just in shambles, it breaks your heart. So obviously they want to abolish the police, not defund, abolish. But she was telling me they want to get rid of the criminal justice system writ large. They want no more courts. I kid you. I mean, it's obviously non-serious, but it's so radical. Yet the left embraces these people. Mainstream left embraces these people. Get rid of the court system, the judges. They want to release every person of color from jail. This is what they want to do. It's fully unserious. But what's so hard and saddening about this, is so dangerous, is that this is a major Black Lives Matter movement, right? Who's getting a ton of attention. Yet the mainstream media and the Democratic leadership embrace these people. It's bizarre, and it just boggles my mind.
Well, there's an article in the New York Times abolish jails. They didn't say abolish courts, but abolish jails. This is mainstream is exactly right. I'll be back in a moment the only person I know. I mean, I've been to 130 countries, but I have not been to CHAZ now, a.k.a. CHOP, or CHOP, a.k.a. CHAZ.